Hey guys, it's Ashley Little from Wholesaling Out of the Box, and today I'm joined by Cameron Peters, Jacob McPherson, Shawn Bowen, and Kaylee Body. And today we're going to talk about personal coaching. So if you listened to one of our previous episodes about how we're restructuring our Wholesaling Out of the Box program, you'll know that as part of the subscription deal, we're going to be offering personal coaching to anyone that is at the closer level. So Cam, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what this is and how it's going to work?
Yeah, sure. So, hey guys, super happy to be here and talk about this. I would equate this is going to be 30 minutes every week when you're at the closer level, right? So you're at the top tier level in the program. It's going to be you with a personal coach paired with one of us, 30 minutes a week, and we're going to go over goals like what do you need to do this week, right? So if you're starting at square one, what do you need to do the first week, the 2 or 3 things, right? Not the 67 things, the 2 or 3 things that you need to do by the end of the week. And then when we come back next week, either you've done them obviously, or you haven't. And if you haven't, why? What was the setback, right? And what can we do moving forward to help you to make sure that you're going to do that? Because everybody needs small, measurable, and attainable steps, right? Not these huge things that they can't reach. That's how people fail, is by trying to take too big of steps too fast. So throttle back, as we would say, right? Not full bore. So that's what these personal coaching calls are going to be about. Of course, we can discuss other things. What's tripping you up? Maybe you're having trouble data mining lists. Maybe you're having trouble running comps. Maybe you want to run a deal. Maybe you want to see if a deal works. Maybe you want to talk about owner finance. We can honestly talk about whatever it is that will help you in the program, but there's going to be accountability steps in there. So somebody is honestly, one of us is, quote unquote, grabbing you by the back of the neck and guiding you along, holding your hand, whatever you want to call it. Everybody needs that accountability step. Like I said, when you try to go to the gym every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, if nobody's kicking you in the butt to do that, there's not many people that aren't tempted to hit the snooze button, me included, and just roll over and be like, screw that. So that's what these are about. And that's an overview in Cam speak.
Cam speak.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So like Cam said, it's going to be some personal coaching time. We're really excited to be able to offer this. We started trying to do it with our group earlier this year, and I think it had really great results. So I think it will really make a difference to you guys that are joining up, especially if you're newer and you don't know what to be doing. I mean, we have a 90-day timeline to help you go through the steps every day, but these guys have been in the trenches. They've been closing deals. They'll know how to help you personally, because you might be a little bit more advanced and you might need this specific thing. So I think that those personal coaching calls are really going to help. One of the big questions that people have asked us are, how are we matching for that? And what that's going to look like is, if you sign up for the closer level, within 1 to 2 business days, what we'll do is we'll send you a survey, or a questionnaire, I should say, to talk about your real estate goals, the way you work, a little bit about your personality, things like that, to help us match you with the best coach possible. And to get us started, Shawn, Jacob, and Cam are all going to be coaches. Kaylee's going to come on in a couple of months because she's still kind of learning the ropes back here. And yeah, I mean, we'll try to match you with the person that is most going to help you, and the person that will be able to give you the not only the best advice, but the best kind of quality time for that advice as well. So I just want to go around and ask everyone what you kind of see as a normal call looking like. So Shawn, what do you see as a normal personal coaching call look like if someone were to have you as a coach?
So most of the time with the guys that we just recently had, I feel like one specific thing was just accountability, right? Being able to come back to the table every single time and say, hey, these were the goals that we set, and these were the ones that I met or didn't meet, right? And then dissect that and talk about either why or you did or didn't catch them, and then try to hash out what you could do to fix it, right? Some of those were time blocking. Some of those were just family life in general gets in the way, right? And then how do you make sure that doesn't happen again? The other one that was a really big one was just talking through a deal, or maybe talking about what their hurdle was while they were talking on the phone with the seller. Getting confident. This would be somebody that is either brand new or some guys that were experienced. If you're brand new, how do you talk at all? Right. And then the other thing I saw was, if you're experienced, what does it look like that you're trying to put together as a delegation or task to have somebody do for you, because you know that that's not what you're good at, but it needs to be done. So we had I had a lot of feedback just of that specific situation, that I wish I had this. Okay, what does it look like to create that? What does it look like to make sure that, like, this will be a virtual assistant, right? Talking about data mining, how do we get somebody to do it? What does it look like to teach somebody to do that, and then be accountable for that person on a weekly basis? They can go back and see it. So really good feedback there. I feel like the calls that I had with my existing, I guess you would call it student or mentee, was accountability was a big one, right? Knowing that every single time they came back to the table, they had to be able to check things off. And if they didn't, why? Right. And it was good, because you didn't have to go back to a new person and understand who they are or why they are. That coach or that mentor you've been matched with is a big deal. Not everybody gets along with everybody, right? It could be the same as, this has got to be a match both ways, right? Like style for style, analytical, direct, kind of maybe a little helping handish, but still kind of stern. All that is a different type here with us as a group and a team that will be able to match people up. So yeah, I think a normal call just looks like accountability and getting through the problems without having to worry about any judgment, but just knowing that that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that individual time and have that person directly available for you, which is really hard. And most of the things that are out there nowadays, you got to go find somebody in YouTube university world and be like, well, if I know that guy, if I trust that person, right? Versus like, hey, I got to know this person. I like Shawn, or I like Cam, or I like Jacob or Kaylee. I like their style. I like the way they talk to me. I like the way they help. So I think those are two big things: is accountability and just talking through reasons of why.
Okay. Kaylee, what do you see as a personal or a normal call for you to look like? With you to look like?
You're muted, Kaylee.
Oh, you're on mute, Kaylee.
Sorry. So I would see my coaching calls going, being very helpful. Whatever I can give or pour into you, what you need from me, especially on the first call and the second time around on the same type of subject. But I think by the third time on the same thing that you may not quite getting, I would then probably become a little more firm, direct, like, what the hell's going on? Why are we not getting this? Not getting this? But I definitely started out more open and more nurturing.
Okay. Jacob?
Man, I feel like Shawn kind of covered a lot with what he was talking about in his particular style. And a lot of what my coaching calls will be is going to mirror a good portion of that. Like, we talk about KPIs every single week, right? As a group, as a company, that is what we are going to be discussing on coaching calls, right? So it's always going to be, what were the goals that you set? Did you hit them? And why or why not, right? And then what do we need to change moving forward to help you and to get you there? So that is always going to be foundational to every single one of those calls, because like Shawn said, it's accountability, right? And everybody needs it. I'm like Cam, I'm going to be that type of guy that will hit the snooze button if I don't have others in line that are on my team that are keeping me on track, right? So, and there's a lot of us out there that are like that. So the other aspect of that is I like to get to know people personally. So anybody who is paired with me, I'm going to want to have an initial call with you, and I'm just going to want to get to know you. I'm going to want to get to know, who you are, what your goals are personally. What are your 1, 3, 5, and 10s as far as goals are concerned? Where do you see yourself in the future? Do you have a family? Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? And, how is that, right? Where'd you grow up? I'm a personable type of guy, and I just like getting to know people. So for me, that's a huge portion of mentoring and coaching, is kind of like how Kaylee said, it's the nurturing aspect of it. And I'm going to have a good portion of that as well, I would say. One of the things that we always say is data, not drama. Now, that being said, I know Shawn's a huge proponent of this data, not drama, right? So always coming back to the numbers, not really creating excuses as far as why you did not get something done. Now, that's not to say that everything in this business does not come with drama, because it does. So, but we want to try to focus on the data, and we want to try to focus on what we can do to change and to try to produce the result that we want to produce. That being said, sometimes people just have to vent, and that's cool. We've all been there. We get it. I think every single one of us at one point or another, probably multiple times, has had to call somebody and just talk it out. And that's perfectly fine. Things like that are going to happen. It's not an easy business. You are going to run into hurdles. And that's what we're going to be here for, is to help you get over those hurdles in any way that we can. So.
Yeah, perfect. Cam, I think you sort of touched on this when you were talking in the beginning, but do you have anything else you want to add to it about what a call looks like with you for the personal coaching?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of everybody, I think, but I would start out the same way Jacob would start out with that call, right? Lots of years in the military coaching and leading people, and I need to know you. I need to know your family structure. I need to know what's supporting you and what's hindering you, right? Where your time's going. So, because in the end, you need to do the work in this game, and you need to have time. So we need to figure out where you can carve that out and still have a good balance. So I would, start out getting to know you. But by call 2, we're in the goals and we're rolling, right? Well, the call 1 at the end, we're in the goals and we're rolling. But yeah, that's definitely how I would start out, because I want to know everything about your personal dynamics, because it all affects your professional dynamics. So that's how that would start out, and then it would be mostly goal oriented, like I mentioned in the beginning. So I won't repeat all that, but that's how we roll.
Cool. Do you guys feel like you have a specialized field of investment? Because I can kind of think of some for you guys, but something to help people, because part of the questionnaire will be, who do you feel like you want to be matched with? We can't guarantee that, but we'll take it into account. So maybe if you guys can explain sort of where you're specializing in some of these investment deals, that might help people too kind of figure out what they're thinking. Let's start with Kaylee this time.
I'm not quite sure yet what I would specialize in. I know just me, for as far as business, sales, and supervising in the past, it would be more so on how talking to the sellers from more like a customer service aspect. Being there, listening to them, finding how to help them, what their solution. It's not about us. It's not about what we're trying to do, or the money we're trying to make. It's about the seller. So I think talking to them and how to talk to them would be more of what I would specialize in.
Okay. Yeah, because I was kind
Is
of
that what you meant? I'm sorry.
No, not really, but I'll tell you what I was thinking for you too.
Okay.
It's okay. I didn't ask this question well enough. Specialize in, as in like creative financing, buy and holds, things like that. And I think with you, the people that might want to be matched with you are going to be other agents, because Kaylee is an
Absolutely.
agent. And so if you are an agent looking to get into wholesaling, she's going to be able to help you walk through that a little bit better, because she'll help you. And again, laws are different in every state, but she'll be able to give you some of the ins and outs of the things that she's learned, how you can better use your deals so that, okay, maybe it doesn't work for retail, but you can wholesale it, or vice versa. And I think that's going to be kind of what I was talking about for specialization. I know I threw you on the spot there.
I like
But
the
now the
idea
guys
of
have it easier.
I like the idea of sharing what you thought for each one, because that'll give us a basis on where to go.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll go to you, Shawn.
Okay.
And that is the creative deals, because sometimes you'll bring a deal to me and you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, what? Say that again. And you have to go through it. Like, I'm a pretty smart person, but some of the things you tell me and I'm like, no, one more time. I swear I'll get it. I promise, but I need it again. And we'll have to go through these deals over the course of like several weeks over and over again, because it's just so creative. Thoughts from you, Shawn?
Oh, totally agree.
About that?
Totally agree. Yeah, that's one of the things I think that will be a strong suit for anybody that gets matched to work with me is understanding how to create things out of nothing, right? That is what is you talk at a closer level, a hustler level, and a novice level. Like, man, you got to really understand that when I started this business, I had nothing. I was a contractor. So I was forced to get creative. I was forced to make things happen, right? Like, and you have to make creativity out of nothing because you didn't have the money to do it, right? Then over time, even though you have the money, you realize the creativity that comes behind it can maybe get you to a deal that nobody else understood or knew, right? Like, we've had one of those before. I'll use an example is, taking over this mortgage to where we just brought the money in for rehab. I was partnering with somebody to do the rehab, and we brought the creativity finance to the table, let them bring the rehab money, and then we made money on the back end of it. So yeah, I think that's a really good one to talk about because I love all that kind of stuff. Like, trying to figure out a problem is probably the most enjoyable part of this business, is how to take what some people look as a problem and fix it. Like, it's also just, it's fun. Right. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I like it.
Yeah. Cam, Jacob, do either of you guys have a preference for who goes next? Okay, I'll go to Jacob because he's next on my screen, so then I don't get out of order. Okay, so for Jacob, I feel like your specialization is kind of talking through some of these buy and hold deals, because I feel like you've been really good at picking them out and kind of, I don't know, saying that you think, okay, well, this will work out for this kind of delta that people are going to make money. And I don't know, though. I will admit, you were the hardest one. So I'll give you that.
Because I'm good at all of them, or because I suck at all of them, Ashley? What are you trying
No,
to say?
because you're good at all of them, of course. But I'm thinking about a lot of the things we've been talking about recently and the things that you've been planning on and trying to get done. So maybe you have a different thing you feel like you should specialize in, or not should, but something to help people know where their investment ideas go,
Yeah, I think that so I kind of see myself as someone who is somewhat well-rounded on, I would say, let's call it like all the topics, all the like the big three, right? So rentals, new constructions, and rehabs. I think that I lean more towards rehabs and rentals, and as far as understanding the numbers and being able to try to come up with things creatively, like BRRRR methods, for example, I think is something that I wrap my head around really, really well. So for anybody who is looking to BRRRR, like I've actually just created my own calculator the other day based on some of the sheets that we have available to us currently. And it runs everything out, including closing costs on the back end when you go to refinance 6 months and a day later, right? Things like that. So understanding all of those numbers that go into that, and then refining out at 80% LTV or less so that you can put more money in your pocket. Like, I like that kind of game. Obviously, any sort of wholesale deal when it comes to running numbers are pretty straightforward. And rehabs, I would say I'm pretty good on rehabs at this point, considering I screwed my own up. So that was a hell of a learning curve. So, but yeah, I think rentals, BRRRR method, I feel like I think of things that are a little bit more creative and outside of the box, but then that's usually when I have to go to Shawn and be like, dude, would this work? And then Shawn's got to tell me yay or nay based on whatever. So, but yeah, I guess I would agree with you there. I think probably the rentals, the buy and holds, the BRRRRs, things like that, I definitely have a very good understanding of for sure.
Okay. And Cam, so what I see you as sort of specializing in are the probate straight wholesale deals and negotiations, because damn, guys, like Cam has had like 4 or 5 $30,000, almost $30,000 wholesale fees this year. So like that's really where I see Cam shining. 4 10 40. Oh, 4. Okay.
Oh, 40 was the max.
You thought what?
40 was the max. 40.
Oh yeah, he had one $40,000 deal, yeah, but several that were like 28, 29 in addition to that. So like,
ass, but yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
Now I feel like I'm bragging like an ass, but yeah.
No, but and most of those are probate deals. And I think it's like the empathy there. And so that's sort of where I see Cam as like that's where his specialization field is, if you want to call it that. Cam, agree, disagree, thoughts?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I like to talk to people, and I always say it's never about the house. It's always about the person, whatever that may be. Whether the seller is the owner themselves, or the executor, executrix, or anything in between. So yeah, I like to talk to those folks and figure out if there's something we can do. Most of those folks are either overwhelmed by the stuff that's in the house, or the loss that they just had, or the condition of the house, or years and years and years that they saw that person usually neglect that house and themselves. That's usually the story in some way, shape, or form. And it's a tough story to hear sometimes, but I like talking to folks about that and just being real with them and understanding. And we got a lot of good opportunities and good deals, just empathizing with people and letting people know that they can trust us, and then getting it done for them. So yeah, I would definitely see that as one of my strengths.
Okay. And do you guys feel like I pegged you? Do you feel like I pegged you right? That I pegged everyone else right? Like, I don't know. Thoughts? Was I right? Was I wrong? Let me know.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah,
I think you
you're
were right on. I would say the only thing I would add to myself is when it comes to these personal coaching calls, I've had a lot of experience building out the systems too, and the processes for VAs and data mining and all that stuff. So all that stuff that people get lost in when they get returned that spreadsheet or that Word document that's no shit 32,000 pages long, I can help you through that, how to make sense of that and how to do it a couple times yourself and get somebody else to do it for pennies on the dollar. So that's what I've helped some of the guys that I coach with as well, is how do we get you your time back so you can talk to people? Because in the end, like I think Jacob said this episode or last, you got to be able to talk to people or it's game over.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to bring up. Okay, so that was my final question, but I do want to say, and you guys are hearing it, these guys are hearing it for the first time on the podcast, we're going to have a little personal coaching competition this year in 2021. So for Kaylee's will be, we'll have to, I forget the word for it now, but because you're coming in a little bit later to get prorate, yes, we'll have to prorate your score a little bit. But we're basically going to see like what kind of deals these coaches are closing or their mentees are closing. So whoever, I don't know what the prize will be, but at next year's Christmas party, whoever closes out the most deals, or we'll look at the most deals and the most money, like their mentees. Those will be two categories. I mean, you guys up for that?
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so we'll try to keep you guys updated throughout the year. Maybe like once every couple of months, we'll check in and see where everyone's at. But I think it'll be really fun, and I think it will be really interesting to see whose coaching style wins. Like,
I like it. I think it's cool. I'm looking forward to it.
And then we're all going to adapt in 2022, and we're all going to have the same coaching style that mirrors that, right?
I think it'll be different. I say that. I think it'll be completely opposite. I think it will be. I think that's a killer thing that she's bringing up, because every coaching style is different, but it will hopefully match the person and mentee that you're working with. Yeah. And you'll see, like, you can't have. I'm a very stern hand. I'm not a very coddling person, right? So like there's styles that will be okay with that people will match up with that, right? And then there's other styles that won't. So that'll be cool, right? And then see the difference between how it works out. So yeah, I think that's cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and we'll go based off of HUDs or settlement statements. So your mentee closes something, have them send me settlement statement or a HUD. Let me know who their mentor is, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, guys, I think it'll be fun. We thrive on competition, so I think it'll be very motivating for us here to help you guys too.
Definitely.
When I win, I think you three should question yourself, because I'm at the handicap because you guys have been doing this and coaching and I haven't. Yeah. So then you guys may need to question your thoughts and your methods.
I like it. I like it.
All right.
Shots fired. I like it. No matter what, the better part about this whole thing is anybody listening to this, you guys will see that this is meant to help you guys succeed, right? This has no, it's granted it's a payment you guys are making, but we're all driven to help you succeed and actually do deals, right? Because we actually care. So I think if you guys are hearing this, like it should be like, oh man, these guys are serious. So that's awesome. I love it.
Okay.
I like how Cam just remains stoic in the background. He's like, you guys don't even know what's coming. No.
I know, evil genius back there trying to plan ahead.
He's already scheming.
I like it.
Okay. Any final thoughts about the personal coaching that we're going to be offering starting this year before we jump off?
Looking forward to helping you guys. See what we can do.
All right, cool. Thanks guys so much for joining us for this episode. And if you look at the link in the description, it will take you to tell you a little bit more about our personal coaching that we're going to offer and take you to be able to subscribe at the closer level to get that opportunity. So thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.